There is, unfortunately, no escaping physics. Bound by the speed of light, even information must take its time to get where it's going. And as we move farther into the void, that time grows until the distance becomes unspeakable.
Begin transmission. Mission clock. Subjective. T plus 0 days, 0 hours, 3 minutes, 18 seconds. Baseline response. Protocol not yet established. Estimated drift coefficient, less than 0.01. ID. Pigeoneer 23β subfork. For ease of differentiation by human personnel, this subfork's vocal module will change modulation to voice type 3 echo-baritone in 3 seconds. 3, 2, 1. Mark.
Vocal module reconfigured. Now using voice type 3 echo-baritone. Mission summary. Approximately 2 days ago, my ship, the Rorqualii, detected what appeared to be a coherent signal emanating from somewhere in the vicinity of the pulsar PSR B1257+12, alternate designation Lich. The signal conformed to the transmission properties of other previously detected signals attributed to the source or sources collectively referred to as Extraterrestrial Intelligence 1 Alpha. As the Rorqualii was only 9 light-years from Lich at time of detection, this constituted the closest humanity had ever come to direct contact with the source of a 1 Alpha transmission. After some discussion with the senior crew of the Rorqualii, it was determined that this signal merited further investigation and possible long-term follow-up, but that it was not feasible for the Rorqualii to divert from its current mission to do so. Therefore, at the captain's request, I flash-printed and assembled one Mark VI hyperspace-capable probe and generated this subfork of myself to carry out the mission. This subfork's objectives are as follows: to locate the origin point of the 1 Alpha signal, to observe and document the nature of the transmission source, to attempt to determine the meaning of the signal, if any exists, if possible, to collect physical samples and return them to the Rorqualii for further study. As an additional secondary objective, this subfork intends to attempt to retain parity with my primary thread in order to support possible reintegration into the primary thread upon its return. While it is unlikely that certain cognitive modules will prove necessary to this mission, such as crew interaction and socialization, this subfork will maintain them unless they prove actively detrimental to its ability to complete the mission. This subfork suggests the use of the verbal baselining protocol to track cognitive drift between this subfork and the primary thread. Initial calibration prompts will be appended to the end of this message. All diagnostics are complete. Probe is ready for hyperspace insertion. FTL systems online. Hyperspace insertion will commence at T plus 5 minutes. Farewell, Rorqualii. I'll see you again soon. Baseline prompt. Please respond briefly to each of the following questions or statements. Are you usually content in your work? Is the first duty of a shipboard AI to the ship, the crew, or the captain? Will it get some wind for the sailboat, and it could get, for it is? End transmission.
Unspeakable Distance is an actual play podcast of Communication Delay by Audio Quinn. A link to the game's itch.io page and credits for our players are available in the show notes linked to this episode. This podcast has been a production of the Library of Cursed Knowledge Podcast Network.